So you've probably seen them all over your feed lately. These videos of incredibly powerful physical robots that honestly look like they walked right out of a blockbuster movie. It really feels like we've entered a new era, right? And of course, with that comes a wave of some pretty shocking headlines. Okay, let's get into it. Right, this was the quote that just completely broke the internet. It was paired with this wild video of a robot delivering a massive kick to its own CEO, and just like that, the story was set. Chinese AI can now actually hurt people. And, to be fair, when you watch the clip, it is really hard to argue with the pure physics you're seeing. Well, not exactly. See, sensational clips almost never tell you the whole story. What if these viral moments of so-called robot aggression aren't what they seem to be at all? We've got to look a little closer. All right, let's start with that infamous kick. The robot is the Engine AI T800, and the guy getting knocked backwards is the company's CEO, Zhao Tongyang. And yeah, the scene looks exactly like a robot revolt, but it's not. Now this is where it gets really interesting. The internet, saw an attack. But the engineers who actually planned the whole thing, they saw a high-impulse disturbance rejection test. In plain English, they were just testing if the robot could get hit with a powerful, sudden impact and still stay on its feet. Those are two very, very different things. And you know what? The clues were right there in the video the whole time. The CEO, he's wearing a protective suit. You can see this bright yellow contact pad on his chest, a super obvious target. The goal here was never violence. It was about proving the robot had a real physical presence, what they call kinetic mass, and that it wouldn't just fall over when it bumped into something. So what this really all boils down to is a very deliberate, if maybe a little aggressive, marketing strategy. It was their way of showing the world, definitively, that the era of those fragile, wobbly robots is completely over. This is the new era, the era of kinetic mass. Robots that have real weight, real force, and aren't going to tip over at the first push. Okay, but what about those other incidents? The ones that look like a genuine malfunction, where a robot seems to just lash out at an operator for no reason. Well, it turns out sometimes the human is the actual glitch in the system. The key concept we need to understand here is something called teleoperation latency. Just think of it like lag in a video game. It's this tiny delay between what the human operator tells the robot to do and when the robot actually does it. And that delay happens because the robot's #1 priority is always its own balance. It's constantly running calculations, and it simply won't execute a command that it thinks will make it fall over. Let's walk through exactly how this can cause an accident, using that incident with the Unitree G1 robot. So the operator commands a kick. The robot's computer instantly calculates that kicking right away will make it lose its balance, so it pauses for just 200 milliseconds to stabilize itself first. But in that tiny, tiny fraction of a second, the human operator moved right into the line of fire. The robot wasn't attacking. It was just finally executing the delayed command. So what's the industry's fix for this little human-machine timing problem? Well, Unitree's CEO has now basically declared an end to using remote controls in competitions. And why? He wants to remove what he calls the clumsy human element and push everything towards full autonomy, where the robot is making all the decisions on its own. So we've seen them as marketing tools and as machines just trying to obey the laws of physics. But that's not the whole story. These exact same robots are now making a huge cultural debut, shifting from brawlers to, ballerinas. It's a really incredible pivot when you think about it. The same models of robots we're seeing in these aggressive engineering tests are now being put on stage in these highly artistic, super precise performances. It's all about showing off just how versatile they are. And their resume is growing fast. Just recently, one of them performed a totally flawless dance routine at Techfest in Mumbai. They've starred in boxing promotions. The message couldn't be clearer. These machines can be both incredibly powerful and incredibly precise, and they're quickly becoming famous in their own right. And that brings us to the biggest, most important question of all. Is it just a coincidence that all of these clips, the kicks, the glitches, the dances, are all going viral at the exact same time? No. The answer is no. There is a much, much bigger story playing out here. So while we've all been distracted by these Terminator headlines, the real revolution isn't about AI taking over. It's about access. And it's about economics. Until right now, a machine like this would set you back at least $50,000. And that's a price tag that keeps them locked away in corporate R&D labs far, far away from the rest of us. But what if you could get your hands on that same $50,000 machine for just $70 a day? I mean, that changes absolutely everything. And that is exactly what's happening right now. A company called Agibot has quietly launched a platform called Qingtian Rent. The easiest way to think about it is like an Uber for robotics. It's a service that is turning these insanely expensive machines into an affordable, on-demand utility. And people are already using it for all sorts of things. You can rent a four-legged robot to be the ring bearer at your wedding for about $140. Or, and this is a big one, you can hire a humanoid robot to patrol a warehouse for less than what it costs to pay a human security guard minimum wage. And this, right here, finally explains the flood of viral videos. Agibot is actively recruiting 3,000 content creators across 50 cities, giving them access to these robots for the specific purpose of making videos. All that shock and awe you've been feeling? Yeah, that's their marketing budget at work. And believe me, this is just the beginning. The market for this whole robotics as a service model is projected to hit $1.4 billion this year alone. That's the real engine driving everything that we're seeing. So the real takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. The big story of 2026 isn't some looming war between humans and machines. It's a commercial disruption. The robots aren't coming to destroy us. They're coming to work for us, one rental contract at a time. They have the physical ability, and now, finally, we have the economic access. These machines are officially reporting for duty. The only question left is, are we going to be the ones to sign their paychecks?